Sports, Arts and Culture Minister Gayton McKenzie today gives an update on his first 100 days in office. The minister is expected to reflect on key achievements since being sworn into office in July. Newzroom Afrika's Benjamin Leshoro is there and will bring us these proceedings live. I think, Benjamin, good morning. They're meant to kick off in about an hour and a half or so. But the minister has been in the news, and of course we know that he has an active Twitter following and engagement. I'd love for you to share maybe just some of the highlights of his 100 days in office, and then also what he's been saying in response to the amount of money that was spent on his trip to the Olympics, which he's pushed back against in terms of shaping his own narrative around this. Talk to us, Benjamin, about his last 100 days.
Well, good morning, Iman. Well, you'd have to go very deep in South Africa's archives to find a government minister who's generated more public interest than Gayton McKenzie, from the time when he was appointed and sworn in to him announcing that he will seize all funding, and this was probably his first action in office. He will seize all funding for super fans who are attending global events when it comes to sport, an issue that has come back seemingly to bite him with what you're talking about in terms of the Paris Olympics and his expenditure. We'll talk about that in just a moment, but he also had issues, utterances that he made on social media platforms with regards to, you remember the issue of Chidima Adichie, who was at the time a contestant in the Miss South Africa pageant, beauty pageant, and he didn't stop there. He has been very busy. There's been the dissolution of the board of Boxing South Africa, among those things. And one of the things that earned him the respect, if you will, of a lot of people was when he managed to strike a deal with the broadcasters to make sure that the Springboks, at the time playing the All Blacks, their bitter rivals at Ellis Park, an iconic rugby match, that one probably the best in the world, he struck a deal to make sure that the public is able to view that on the public broadcaster, the SABC. That's what earned him, you could say, the admiration of a lot of fans. But recently, he's also found himself the talk of the town with regards to the SA Rugby private equity deal that the Rugby Controlling Board in South Africa is trying to strike with Achilles Sports Group, a US-based company, which would give them 1.2 billion rand, that's $74 million. And Gayton McKenzie yesterday sent a letter to SA Rugby to request that they halt that meeting, the special general meeting that was supposed to be held today in Cape Town. And SA Rugby has obliged to say the minister has asked for further briefing with regards to that, and we'll explain a little bit later what that entails and what that would mean for SA Rugby's flagship brand, which is the Springboks. When it comes to the expenditure with the Olympics, the 800,000 rand, eye-watering 800,000 rand, Minister Gayton McKenzie, we saw, as he normally does, going very public with the breakdown of the figures that he received on X yesterday, announcing that he asked the acting DG in the department to furnish him with the details of how exactly it was that over 400,000 rand was spent on ground transport upon his arrival and during his trip to Paris. So that's essentially, in a nutshell, Iman, some of the highlights of Minister Gayton McKenzie's time in office, and he will brief us as to exactly how he has fared during just over the 3 months. I'm
chuckling because I'm thinking about something which I'm going to ask you about in just a moment, but we're expecting? I mean, this is, the charismatic Gayton McKenzie, who in various settings has been a champion for the GNU, but has also been unapologetic about some of the decisions that he's made and how he intends to shape this ministry under him. But I'm chuckling because I'm thinking about, for me, a person who's not really a sporting expert, so to speak, you are more than I, around the concept of VAR, and there's been a lot of talk about the introduction of it. Of course, it comes with a huge price tag and meant to revolutionize wherever it is going to be implemented. VAR in Afrikaans means truth, but this is the video-assisted referee. Just talk to us again about how big an impact that initiative is likely to be.
It is one of the things that sport fans across South Africa, Iman, have been calling for. Those in the know, or the top brass of South African football, have made it public that it would cost no less than 70,000 rand per match to have the video assistant referee implemented in South African football. Of course, there is a whole lot of countries in Europe that have already implemented it since its advent a few years ago. There's a few countries in Africa, amongst them the likes of Morocco, that have already implemented it. But there is a lot of money that's being quoted, huge exorbitant figures that are being quoted in as far as implementing that. But one of the things that Minister Gayton McKenzie has done during his time in office is make the promises. And it hasn't always materialized that way, which has caused or drawn the detractors his way to say perhaps he is a bit of a populist. To say also that he will get investment for video assistant referee remains to be seen if it will actually materialize. But it would definitely be it has been topical within the footballing circles, with the officials not really performing to the abilities that sport fans would like them to. But whether it will come to pass, it remains to be seen, excuse me, and it is one of the questions, no doubt, that we will pose to the minister today, Iman.